Hey guys, welcome back to another Raccoon Talk video.
I know you guys were begging for more content, so we have the great idea to make an America tier list.
Are you proud to be an American?
I'm hella proud.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway.
Okay, let's start with guns. So that's like the most American thing on this list.
I think guns,
Yeah, okay, nobody understands this except Americans. Everyone's like, in other countries, they're like, why don't you guys just ban guns? You guys don't get it.
School shootings? Bad. I'm just gonna go out there and say it. Hot take.
Okay, gun control?
Gun control is really
Taking
good.
away guns. There's gonna be riots, bro. Okay, so let's put that in S.
Actually, you know what? I'd say
A. Really? I think
high
it's
A.
like so American. It's so American. It deserves an S. Look, it's a gun with the American like flag in the background.
You know what? How do we feel about those big guns, like military grade guns?
Oh yeah, those are pretty bad.
That's what I was
Okay.
But high A, it's gonna knock my socks off.
Next we have carnivores, and I'm pretty sure these only exist in America. So if you don't know, carnivores are people. They eat only meat and butter. Like, they eat only animal products. So we're gonna watch a little video. This is from a woman who just eats, like, sticks of butter and meat.
Nothing hits the spot like some fatty meat enjoyed the next day straight out of the fridge with a cold stick of butter. Thank me later. Nothing hits the spot like
Their faces, have you noticed their faces are always, like, flushed red? Like, grainy red, like...
They're, like, soaked.
Yeah, because the amount of cholesterol they're ingesting on a daily basis is like they already have like 6 arteries in the process of being clogged, like halfway through. These people, true American.
Okay, let's watch another one from the same lady.
One of the biggest misconceptions about the carnivore diet is that people think if you only eat meat, you will smell terrible. This could not be further from the truth. I used to be vegan for 6 years. My body odor, sweating, and farts just went out of control. And now that I'm carnivore, I don't need any soap or body wash. I smell amazing, and I no longer fart. How about you?
How about you?
If you don't fart, then maybe you shouldn't be a carnivore. Isn't that crazy? She went from being a vegan for 6 years to being a carnivore.
Why do they compare eating meat to racism? They're like speciesism. And they like oh my god, you guys are freakazoids.
Elaborate for the podcast.
So a lot of vegans, they're like, this is speciesism.
This is a genocide. This is a chicken genocide in our midst.
It's like, okay, maybe you should care about humans more than animals. Hot take.
Animals are meant to be eaten.
No, right? Like, God gave them to, not to bring religion into this, but literally God gave them to us to eat.
Yes, there's a hierarchy, and if you as a human are not taking your place in the hierarchy, you're gonna get eaten by a huge mountain lion. Okay.
The carnivores are they as iconic as guns though? Cause like you don't really think of carnivores. Like they're like a very small minority.
That's B tier.
B tier, yeah, that's what I thought as well. Oh my god.
S tier. January 6th.
No, okay, I love the January 6th Capitol.
I should have been there. I should have been there.
I don't care what anyone tells me. It was the funniest event in American history.
That's American culture right there.
No, 3 people died of natural causes.
Their American blood was pumping so hard that day. Dude, the what is that guy? January 6th, like, and he had the
QAnon master or something.
Yes, and he was sitting at the desk, and he had the huge like tribal, like Native American ripoff.
They were iconic behavior.
Dude, where is he now?
He's in jail actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got sentenced 40 years, I think. Anyways, you know how they do like Civil War reenactments?
Dude, 40 years, trust.
Yeah,
New decade.
Yeah, and it's actually the closest America has gotten to a revolution since the American Revolution.
That is really...
They had pipe bombs.
Really funny.
They made pipe bombs.
I remember seeing those videos of them like climbing up the walls. It was like, and like Donald Trump being like super cryptic and was like, guys, rig the election. This is what I need you to do. Like he was acting like a martyr for all the American people.
You know what's so funny? they were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence," and what they did, they constructed a gallows on the west side of the Capitol.
That's the American spirit, like, personified in people. Like, despite their politics, that's the most America we've America'd in a very long time. The equivalent of, like, 50 4th of July firework parades. You know what I mean? It was great.
Okay, the
Big
Trump wall. It's like old news.
This is a D tier.
Yeah, I don't. It's
Making
like,
them pay for it is very weird.
and they didn't
behavior.
even make them pay for it.
No, literally.
We should bring up a wall around Canada too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And on the
keep
sea.
them out. Okay, drag queens. There's like a drag queen panic going around. Okay, this is like how in the 1990s, they thought like satanic ritual abuse was happening everywhere, and they thought it was happening at their like kids' daycare. Drag queens are a solid.
That's A tier. That's A tier.
Yeah,
It's not very patriotic, but I have a soft spot in my heart.
Mhm.
Also, if you're still doing 2016 makeup and you're against drag queens, then you need to really think. Because where did you learn how to bake like that?
And also, they're not like doing their makeup like women. They're doing their makeup like drag queens.
Exactly. No, yeah, the 2016 makeup was basically Trixie Mattel and her. That's basically how these drag queens became so popular, because they're like, oh, drag queen tips. How else would you know how to slick back and hide your eyebrows with a glue stick? You wouldn't know. How else would you know?
Black churches. I'm gonna let you start first.
Okay, very American. I think black churches, I am a big fan, personally. It's like, the music is top tier, it's never subpar. Sometimes, depending on the church you go to, there's a little meal afterwards. You know? It's great. It's great. So, me, personally, I would put this in high B tier. Because some of them are a little weird. You know what I mean? Like, church itself, but the culture is phenomenal. So I'd give this high B tier.
One of the first churches I went to, I'm not Christian, but one of the first churches I went to was a black church. And I walked there like 20 minutes, and it was really sweet, and everyone was nice, and I stood up, and they all clapped for me, and they all like offered to give me rides home. And so I really liked it. It made me feel like quite positive.
Anyway, Kumon, save these poor South Asian kids from the torture. Would you say D tier? Or C tier?
I'll say a D tier, but actually C tier, because smart Asians are very important. All the websites are up and running because of smart Asians. Hispanic hustlers, S tier. Hispanic hustlers, the reason they want to kick immigrants out is because they don't understand the money mindset. They don't understand the hustle grind set.
Yeah, I don't know about grinds.
Love you guys.
Veterans? Those grandpas that have the Vietnam hats. Those, I feel patriotic when I see that.
Yeah.
Those old guys that have the war veteran hats. Okay, let's give that a
One time I was in a waiting room, and there are these two veterans talking, and they were having like conspiracy theories, and they said like the government like through prostate exams was
Me want to get my colonoscopy. Dude, did you know that if you're like 50 or something, you have to have a colonoscopy as a man? They have to get up in your.
I'm not doing that shit, bro.
No, bro.
I'm not letting the government track me through my prostate exam.
Neither for little
Autism moms.
Okay, stop making tumblers. Stop, like, not the app, but like the juice, the cup, and you know those glittery like pink sparkly cups that say autism mom on it. Stop it.
Okay, let's talk about autism moms, because I'm sure a lot of people don't know what that is. They're like moms who post their kids like autistic meltdowns online, and then they're like, oh, it's so hard for me. And it is hard. It is hard to be the parent of an autistic child. But have you considered that it's hard for your kid to paint themselves as these like martyr-like figures?
Paige, I want to see it.
Then let's watch another one.
Yeah, She just in the back. And she said, I wish I could be like.
This already is messed up because you're posting your kid online.
There's a lot of bad people.
Cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids.
Isn't this just for the sides of having a toddler?
See, imagine growing up and you see your mom posting a video like,
That's like, might be a little worse than like those YouTube family vloggers. Yeah.
yeah, imagine growing up, you're an autistic kid, and you see that your mom is posting like, this is how I feel having an
I hate my kids.
Cars. I like cars. I feel like it's pretty American also because everyone's like, oh, you have to drive
Ford.
so far.
Bro, me and my Ford F-150.
Yeah, let's put that in A actually.
Truck.
Like, it's pretty iconic, I'd say.
Yeah. Whenever I think of a car, I think of America.
The next day.
So our Mormonism segment and their Disney adult segment got lost to the void. So we're gonna redo those right now.
Mormons, B tier. They're pretty American because it's an American religion. And, you know, they go all around the world. Lots of people's impressions of Americans are, in fact, Mormons.
Did you look behind you?
I don't know.
Mormonism goes in B tier.
We're gonna do an interview actually with our good friend Katie Brooks. So stay tuned. Hey guys, this is Raccoon Talk with my good friend Katie Brooks. Woo! Give her a round of applause. Katie Brooks, what is your religious experience and background?
Okay, so I was raised Mormon, born into a Mormon family. My mom is a convert. She grew up in Soviet Russia, so her life was really hard. And she was introduced to the church at 17 or 18. And as I said, her life was really rough. Like, her dad was an alcoholic and he was verbally abusive to her mom. So when the missionaries came to their apartment, you know, they were American missionaries, so it was like a big deal for them. They were introduced to the scriptures, and that kind of like changed everything for my mom because it was this sort of like way to escape and like find hope, right? And then my dad was also born to the church, but his parents were converts. So growing up, it was just kind of a thing that was like the norm for me, and I didn't really understand that like my religion wasn't really or didn't have the best reputation. I think I really understood that in early middle school, because that's when I got access to the internet. So, yeah. Also, I don't believe in what I was really taught anymore. I'm just here to educate based on my experience. So, yeah.
So you said they don't exactly have the best reputation. So what would you say are some misconceptions about Mormons or something that people don't really know about Mormons?
Honestly, the first thing that popped in my head was the polygamy thing. You heard that, right?
I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
Yeah, that was never really like anything that I knew about until I saw the anti-Mormon stuff. I do think that it has a part in the history of the church, but obviously we don't do it anymore. Another thing, apparently Mormons are racist. Not me, at least.
An alien came from space and he said, "Tell me what Mormonism is. I want to understand it." What would you tell him?
Okay, so I would tell him that despite what like the Mormon reputation says, Mormonism is a branch of Christianity, but we don't go under the history of other Christian churches like Protestant and Orthodox and stuff, because we believe in a restored gospel, which is basically, it explains how the priesthood authority was given to Joseph Smith to restore the church because the golden plates were dug away. So it was his job to establish the church back onto his land, pretty much.
Could you explain the golden plates thing for people?
Yeah. So this is going to be confusing to those of you who don't know because I totally forgot the dude's name. But this was like back in like the BC times. It was a long time ago. So there's this guy. He got a calling from God to write the scripture onto a bunch of like golden plates. And he was told to bury them into this like forest clearing thing. And he was told that in a really long time there would be another guy who would also get a calling to bury those, or to get those up off the ground. And then his job would be to establish the church again. And that guy was Joseph Smith, who was this white dude in New York in like the 1830s. So pretty much, yeah. Do you know the story of it's called the first vision, how he got the prompting from God to...
Yeah, but say it anyways.
Okay, so Joseph Smith was like 14 at the time. He was living on I think it was like a farm in New York around like the early 1800s. And he was struggling with his religious stance. And there were like 3 other churches that obviously weren't Mormon because it wasn't a thing. Then it was something other Christianity. And he was trying to figure out what he believed in. So he went to each church, he studied what they believed in, and none of them really stuck to him. So one day he decided to go out into the forest where it was really calm and there was just a bunch of nature around. And he prayed and he was like, hey God, I don't know what church to go to. Could you like give me some advice? And all of a sudden the woods got like really dark around him. Like it was like really, really bad and scary. And he was freaking out. That was the devil, by the way. That was the devil trying to stop him. But then after the darkness, there came this huge beam of light. And then there was God, and then there was Jesus. And God said something like, this is my son, hear him. And then Jesus is like, hey, you should start your own church, or you should start our church back up. You should take up those plates. And he was like, okay. That's pretty much it. I want to add in too. And this also kind of segues to the Kingdom of Glory part. We don't believe in like a hell. It's fine if I go into the 3 kingdoms, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is the terrestrial kingdom. That one is Earth. That's where we have our human bodies. And we are, as it says in the scripture, or like the hand guide that has the questions and answers and stuff, we are blinded by the craft of man, which is basically saying like we're distracted by the devil's like creation stuff that's made to distract us from the gospel. So that's Earth pretty much. And then we have Telestial, which is part of the afterlife, but that's where you go if you have not heard the gospel, you've never been like exposed to it when you were when you had a physical body. And then there's Celestial, which is where you go when you know the gospel and you follow it, and that's where you dwell with Heavenly Father and Jesus. But then there's a whole separate part that's called Perdition, and that's where you go if you know God's power but you still partake of the devil's like following. So it's not really hell, but you still have an opportunity to go to the Telestial, which is where you'll learn about it, and you still have that choice. So
Can you talk about maybe like purity culture?
yeah, so I think this was kind of like a universal thing for Christians, maybe with like conservative views. I grew up not being allowed to wear bikinis or shorts or tank tops or skirts or dresses that was like mid-thigh, and it was I never really cared until I got to when I was a little bit older. I think like 13 or something. Along with purity culture, swearing was like a huge no. I mean, my dad swears sometimes, but that's when he's like having road rage or he's like mad about something, and my mom always scolds him. But yeah, there's no swearing in my house. And I mentioned this, but yesterday, if you make swearing a big deal, it will become a big deal. And I think part of the reason I swear so much now is because I wasn't allowed to growing up, and it was such like a scary thing, like really scandalous.
Yeah.
To swear.
Oh, the lead singer of The Killers is a Mormon, and so is Ryan Gosling.
And so is the main guy of Imagine Dragons, which is not surprising at all.
You think Joseph's good with like Imagine Dragons?
Yeah.
Me too.
I think so. I think he'd like Weezer.
Yeah.
So we have this thing called baptism for the dead. That takes place in a Mormon temple. It's like a pretty building. It's white, and there's like a really high like steeple at the top, and it doesn't have a cross. I also want to talk about that too, but it has a statue of Captain Moroni. I don't know his story. I might do research later, but yeah, that's a Mormon temple. The things that I've done are called baptism for the dead. That's when you go in to this baptismal font and you basically get baptized a couple times, but it's for a person who has already died, who hasn't been able to get word of the gospel, or I think that might be the only reason. Yeah, they just weren't able to be baptized in the name of God, whether it's your ancestor or some other person's ancestor. So Nav already knows this, but I tell everyone that I was born in Arizona. I'm actually from Utah because I get embarrassed when people ask me where I'm from because I don't want to say I'm from Utah. Utah's a very interesting place. It's such a shame because it's really such a pretty state. They have really nice mountains and they get all 4 seasons, but the people there are absolutely crazy. If you think Mormons are bad, like in whatever state, just wait till you go to Utah because they're plague.
Mm-hmm. You said it's
There are
overbearing and it's like white people help.
yeah, there's so many white people. Yeah, there's so many churches there too. Obviously, like there'll be like 2 on like corners of the street.
About your mom, there was like no religion in Russia, right?
They had a little bit of religion, but I think it was mainly Orthodox, because I think they have a lot of Orthodox churches here, and there are a lot of Russians, and that was, but it was probably very limited because it was Soviet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, it was American missionaries that came, and my grandma on my mom's side ended up getting baptized too. I think my grandpa, the one who was an alcoholic, I think he got baptized too, and I think he quit. Like he smoked and he drank. I think he quit.
But before we wrap it up, is there anything else you'd like to add?
The only thing really was that overall, I think my experience compared to other people that you've maybe heard like on the internet was a lot better and more positive. They're all super nice, which I've heard a few things from people outside of the church about how Mormons are really like, they have this weird sort of like warm energy around them. I mean, I don't know how accurate that is, but I've heard that a few times. But the missionaries too, they're taught not to be pushy. Like if someone doesn't want to be a part of the church, then that's their choice, and you can't really do anything about that.
Hey now, this is what dream.
Hobbies, it's so good to have interests in things that make you happy, but it costs like $1,000 to go to Disney. And you're an adult.
Yeah, these people like probably have some deep rooted trauma or something. It's manifesting.
How do you do? How are you?
You think Disney adults exist like anywhere else besides America?
No.
Right.
This is A tier. This is high A tier. I put this up like above drag queens, I think.
Wow, okay.
Because drag queens are like,
they're niche, they're underground.
yeah, this is like everywhere.
Okay, so immigrants, I'm biased. I love immigrants. I'd say S tier, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean everybody's an immigrant if you think about it. So that's like the most American you can get. Like we're not called the melting pot for no reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think willing immigrant, unwilling immigrant. We're all immigrants. If you get down to the base of things, even those white people on the Mayflower, on the ship.
Yeah, they were immigrants.
Yep.
Except
for Native Americans, but
shout out Native Americans.
Yeah, that's like 5%, maybe less than that of the population. So,
okay, Puerto Rico. Now, Puerto Rico is an entire state.
I love Puerto Rico. Low B tier.
Low B tier. I love Puerto Rico. I feel like it should be high B. I feel like it should be above carnivores, actually.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Oh yeah, there's way more Puerto Ricans than carnivores.
Now, along with the Disney adults, we have American Harry Potter fans.
I feel like a lot of them died because of J.K. Rowling, but there are, like my science teacher, God rest her soul. I mean, she's still alive, but I mean, she has Harry Potter stuff all over her classroom, and I kind of fuck with it. She's like really nice, and I feel like I would rather. It's like it comes down to this: would you rather be in a room of 30 Harry Potter adults or 30 Disney adults?
Oh, that's so. Yeah, I guess
they're a little less insane. So I'm a big. I put them above Disney adults, I think.
Let me show you the thing I have for American Harry Potter fans.
I also, they should get demoted because Harry Potter is British, and that's not American, you know? So...
You want to be my favourite, huh? Use your words. Tell me how needy you are for me, baby girl.
Darling, can I be your favorite? I'll be your girl that you tasted.
Hey, you're a grown woman. And he's like 12 in the books. He's a teenager. He does not want you.
See, this is my problem because I forget that's what they do. I thought we were just talking about like the people that just like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And then
these are Harry Potter adults.
I know, they're so weird about it. I just forgot. I forgot about Draco. Hate that guy.
I feel like I prefer weeps to both of them, but that's later on.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
They're way cooler.
Okay. American Harry Potter fans, I feel like they should be.
They're
I just don't
freakier.
like them. I
So,
see like
okay.
C tier, low C tier.
Yeah, because it's not very American.
Mm-hmm.
Weebs. Okay,
Weebs.
this is a S tier for me. Oh, the bombing of Hiroshima, we would never have Hunter x Hunter. So
Really?
that's how like anime became. They brought over like the styles of American animation. I put that above Guns, I think. So
Really?
A
I
tier.
wouldn't. I feel like
No, I'm a big fan because they have those huge conventions. Dude, I was getting 2 hours ago. I was at my brother's house, and we were she was talking about how she was in Atlanta, and there was like an anime convention right outside of her hotel, and there was just a bunch of people in costume, and people would like go up to her and like start talking, and she was like, "They're so nice," but she did not know what they were cosplaying about. She didn't know any of the characters, but they were so chill.
above Disney adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you definitely.
They don't tip in other countries.
They don't. I think tips, okay, extremely American, number one. Also very bad in the long run. It's good, but the fact that you have to tip in America is very bad. So, how do we feel about this?
I put it like below Mormons.
I'd say above Kumon.
Yeah, that's that's pretty good. Okay,
I mean,
okay.
in like C tier.
Oh, C tier. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not very good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um.
Purity culture. Ooh.
Oh, I don't know
this is
anything
kind of
about
a big one.
Oh, you know what? Sexy Red. She came out with an album, and it's like called Sexy for President. So I think that's like an automatic, at least C tier, at least high C tier.
Purity culture is very American. Like it's associated with Americans. So basically, it's associated with Christian evangelicals, and the movement started in the 1970s in response to all these things, like hippies, free love, pro-choice. They were like, no, we need to stay normal. And so essentially, it emphasizes traditional gender roles: a woman dressing modestly, no kissing or holding hands before marriage. And then if you have intercourse before marriage, you're seen as like ruined.
How many bodies do you have? What's your body count?
Yeah, it's still present because in schools, like no shoulders.
Oh yeah, Sexy Red.
Yeah, they hate Sexy Red.
Sukihana. I think purity culture can be funny because, when you break out of it, it's just like it's seen as like rambunctious and like crazy. Going back again to Sexy Red. Her name is Sexy Red.
Okay, purity culture. I feel like we should put that next to Mormons.
Yeah,
but like higher than Mormons.
It goes hand in hand.
Now we're getting back into politics. So anti-communists. I think communism is bad. But also, anti-communism is so ingrained into the American psyche. Like, we had the Red Scare. That was so big.
I love the Fallout game series, and we wouldn't have that if we weren't threatening to get nuked in the 50s. So
they had to do, like, bomb things in high school. Actually, I was talking to this librarian, and I was talking about how this one teacher at her school said that, like, the U.S. is going to get invaded by Russia and China. And she was like, well, actually, it could. And I was like, what? And she was like, well, I was brought up in that Cold War era. So, like, you don't understand how much fear we felt.
Dude, we have bunkers. We have, like...
What tier should we put it in?
I'd put it pretty high. Because I think there's a lot of, it forced humans to figure shit out. You know what I mean? Especially America.
So, like...
We were like, we have to be better. We have to be better.
I feel like above Disney adults. And above weebs.
I'd put that in S tier, low key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like here.
No, all the way down. It's like a low S tier.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But I put that in there.
Now we have Antifa. The whole thing came about because they were like, okay, in Nazi Germany, would Hitler have risen to power if people were more like violent in their protesting, and like if we didn't make Nazis feel safe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan. So also, I think Antifa, like people like the scares about Antifa is really funny. Like Antifa's gonna get you. Like
It's like guns, which is American, automatically.
I mean, they're basically just like bunk. I'd put this above Weeps. You know what? Yeah, I'd put that above Weeps.
Okay. This one is Irish and Italian Americans. So like Europeans in Europe, they're like,
Oh my god, these American people, they can't call themselves Irish and Italian because they don't even know anything about the culture. But actually,
I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, like if like a Japanese guy wants to call himself American,
Look at
if a Japanese guy wants to call himself American, I'm fine with it, right? Because I think that's like okay, American.
Yes, America.
Yeah.
Right, but these are like Americanized Italians.
Yeah, but they still could, like, they need an identity so they don't become like autism moms or Disney adults. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Everyone needs an identity.
But like, okay, let's think about like the real Italian Americans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like New Yorkers. I can't say anything for Irish people because I don't. But okay, here's the thing: Ireland is having its biggest PR like year ever. Like you got Iowa Dibry, you got the lady from Bridgerton, you got that one guy, I forgot his name. Having their biggest PR. You got Dairy Girls, Resurgence. I think Ireland is great. Let's talk about like ginger white people thinking that they're Irish automatically.
You could be Scottish.
You could be like French or something, and they're like, you could be like Russian, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm Irish.
No, like Scottish people are Catholic too.
Oh yeah. But anyway, big fan of Italian Americans. Like without Italian Americans, I wouldn't have mozzarella sticks.
And so first up, we have Italian Americans.
I think being Italian American is so American.
Born in Italy, this person's third generation. You still have Italian blood flowing through your veins. Why are you bashing a guy because he can't speak
It happens all the
Italian?
time. But
you're fake Italian. But at least the guy is proud of being Italian.
Yeah.
Ciao, my name is Alessandra, born and raised in Italy. Okay, I have a few things to say. First of all, I'm kinda disappointed because I like you guys. Why would you say something like that? You know it's not true. I'm sorry. Now, where should I start? As an Italian, born and raised in Italy, when I see people on social media and they act like they know everything about Italy and the language, and probably they've never been to Italy, that's my issue. If you're fourth generation Italian, let me break it down to you. You're American, and that's okay. It's okay, okay? It's like me saying, oh, I'm French because my great-great-great-grandfather was from France. No, sono Italiano. And don't get me wrong, I love the fact that people are proud of their heritage. But if they're so proud, at least they should try to learn the language, don't you think? Okay, let's move on.
the reason Italians say that is because that's the only thing they have against Italian Americans. That's the only power they have is saying that you're not real Italian.
I've never...
Ma stai bene? You know what? I changed my mind. I'm gonna let the people comment on this one. I can't. I'm sorry. So my mom the job.
Okay, fourth generation is crazy. I'd say it's like, okay, if everybody in your family, if all your grandparents, all your family, your parents are Italian, then I think you can say you're Italian. But if you have like one parent, like one grandparent that's Italian, and the rest of your family is just like regular, like American white, like Caucasian, then I can kind of see where they're coming from.
Lots of Italian people also, they still have like those dishes passed down, so they're still holding on to some remnants of their culture.
No, right? Because there's like a communities for like Italian people.
Or like, actually, it doesn't matter like what they call. Like I think Europeans are just pressed for no reason.
Well, Europeans are always mad. So.
They're always mad.
This is a lot of.
How do you feel when Americans or British people express themselves?
When I was visiting the US, when you enter a store, they're like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then I was like,
"Do I know you?"
Hello.
I have a lot of English clients, and I have to type really long sentences to get across. I'm like, man, I just want to say yes and no.
Sometimes it's difficult to get to the point. What do you mean?
And the American people are more, for me, a little bit more fake. You go in the shop, you always want, oh, how are you doing? Do you have a nice day?
Yes.
They don't care about the answer, but just ask.
You've seen someone only once and you meet them again. It's, like you're the best friend. How are you? Oh, come here, kind of hug. Okay, come on.
I don't like the Americans, no.
Do you like Americans in general?
No.
Wanna take you somewhere. So the reason I put this in here is because they hate friendliness. They hate being nice to people. They hate genuine kindness.
Dude, miserable. That's actually so sad. Like,
they're just not nice to you.
How do you think if somebody asking you how's your day is like offensive?
Like, hey, how's your day? Like,
you just say, oh, I'm good.
To strangers, I love to talk to strangers. I love to be American.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people, they're like, oh, I would love to live in Italy someday. I wouldn't. I love America.
No, because they're so like elitist over there.
Yeah,
they're so people say like America is so obsessed with race, but like they're so obsessed with like their own like
they're obsessed with nationality.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you're not a real Italian. If your great grandfather was Italian, you're not a real Italian.
Yeah,
it's like it doesn't matter if you eat pizza every day. You call your grandma Nonna, like doesn't fucking matter. Like another thing too, white Europeans like they're so much more racist. Because it's just more accepted. I think that like, and this is true for everywhere, but especially Europe, they're just more okay with being racist because it's just like nobody's gonna call them out. But like they're like, oh, Americans are so obsessed with race. It's because simply we just talk about it.
Because there's like a bunch of people here.
No, right? Like you're not gonna get away with being racist. Like imagine you enter like a Walmart and you start being racist to like Mexicans, and it's just all Mexicans in there. Like of course they're gonna be like,
they're gonna kick you out, bro.
Exactly. Like. It's just weird.
Actually, I was following my barber because when I went to Europe on the theater trip, I got my hair cut, and my barber and I were talking. It was really fun. And recently, he posted like a racist caricature of Muslims. Oh, and he's Ukrainian but he doesn't want Palestine to be not invaded. It's like
it's because they're so like they live in like these
homogenous.
Yeah, these like where there's only one type of person. And so they can get away. It's like you saying, like, talking about, like, tell them about people who saying the N-word in India. Like your cousin.
No, see, like,
this is a good example.
My cousins actually, they think of themselves as black because their skin is, like, very black. Like, they're black. Like, they're way darker than Addy. And so they would say, like, the N-word and stuff in songs. And I was like,
what the heck?
But they're not, like, but they are. Like, people are racist to dark Indians because they see them different as, like, black and whites. Like, one time there's this Instagram reel, and it was, like, these two South Indian women who stole from a store in America, and they were very dark. And in the comments, North Indians were like, yeah, typical black behavior. Like, we're all lumped in together.
No, right. It's like, racism is so different. Like, even... think of like South Africa. Like Tyler recently had to like make like an Instagram post being like, guys, I never denied being black, even though she's literally African. Like she's literally like Africa. Like she's literally African. Like half of her family is from like a tribe in Africa, and then she's like Indian and all this other stuff, right? Because she lives in South Africa. So if you come to America, you kind of have to assimilate. Like sorry, but like it's weird, but it's like for example, the whole happy, like, oh, how is your thing? That's just what Americans do. Right. You're just gonna have to deal with it because you're in America.
You don't want people to be nice to you?
No, literally. That's like going to like China and then they like speak to you in Chinese and you're like, whoa, what do you mean? Don't you see I'm clearly white? Like, why?
It's like if you go to Italy and then they kiss you on the cheek and you get mad.
No, literally, it's just the culture there. Like, you're here for like a week. Like, just deal with it.
Okay. Irish and Italian Americans.
I love mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, and I love pizza.
I love pizza. I love pasta.
Yeah, I love all my Italian American friends.
I know, they're so funny.
I love Irish Americans.
Here's the thing: you can't lump in the Irish Americans with the Italian Americans because Italian Americans, they got culture. Like they've created they're like black people. If you think about it, like, you know how black people have created their culture? Maybe this is controversial, but like, we're not like African American people are not African, right? They have their own African American culture. Same thing with Italian Americans. They have their own Italian American culture. And I think that's beautiful. And I think that there's something like I can extract certain things apart from like Italian American culture that I can't do with Irish people.
Yeah.
Other than like St. Patrick's
Irish
Day.
people have assimilated a lot more because people were so racist to them.
Exactly. That's why I'm chill with them, but obviously, but I just don't know anything about them because I don't know.
Yeah,
anything
really, me
about
neither.
their culture.
Actually, I found a really nice image for this. It's like a clover and it has the American and the Italian. And
I'll let you decide with this one, but I'm
Really?
thinking B tier.
B tier? Yeah, I feel like that's pretty good. Like I feel like we should put that above Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. Ice water.
I love ice water. I don't like I don't like warm water. I love to like it being so refreshing. Even like things that aren't. I love ice.
It makes my teeth hurt.
I think we should put this somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, and like
I think
tier?
this is not important to America at all.
Yeah.
So I think
it's like a small aspect of culture.
Maybe C tier.
Yeah, like
High
above
C tier.
tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm fine with regular water, but I just prefer ice water. And also, you just have ice water as a default in all restaurants and stuff. So it's like it makes sense. Oh yeah, we're getting down to the cut of it.
We're almost done.
Mixed people, so we can end it on a nice note.
Yeah. Okay. Asians, Blasians, love them. I'm friends with so many Asians. They're my favorite people.
We are the melting pot.
We will all be mixed one day.
Yeah, we'll all just be like tan and like slightly waved hair.
And when like someone gets born, it'll be like a surprise of what they look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think mixedness is a sign of human evolution. So I think when we're all mixed together, we're probably gonna be like crazy and have like Spider-Man like abilities.
Yeah,
or some
mixed
shit.
people are like very American. I feel there's probably more mixed people in America than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Let's put that below cars.
Yeah. That's very American.
Very American.
Okay, last dog.
Okay, wait. Tell them about that time we saw the dog in the car.
So we were like at the park or something. I don't know.
We were in front of the school.
Okay, yeah, we were in front of the school, right? And some white person was driving this car, and they had their dog in the front seat, and they had their kids in the. Like that's kind of real. Like
there's American dog culture. They put their dogs in clothes.
Dog parks.
Oh my god, we have parks for dogs. We give them like manicures and stuff.
Nothing is more patriotic than a man's best friend. Okay, we have firefighter dogs. We have police dogs. We have military dogs. Like that's the three crux of America.
Also, there typically aren't like stray dogs.
Yeah,
which there are like everywhere else. They care about them more than people.
S tier above a Capitol riots, I think.
Really?
It's huge here. People love dogs.
They do love dogs.
Also, actually, no, maybe not as good as the January 6th Capitol riots, but maybe better than anti-communism. Okay, wait, dogs are over immigrants. No, that's American. Wait, put that above immigrants because it's actually
they care about dogs more than immigrants.
More than people.
American.
No, right? There'll be like a dog.
They'll be like, chase them out, put them out. But dogs, let's put them in shelters.
Ask any like white millennial, this dog crossing the border or this is a family of four? That's exactly that's above immigrants right there. Well, this has been an episode of Vacuum Talk.
This made me really realize I love to be American, and I'm very glad that I am.
Hopefully you see this and you feel patriotic or you feel revolutionary. Go eat a pizza, go pet a dog. This has been Vacuum Talk.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.